Hi beautifuls, it's Shiloh Wood, product developer for Mooiste Meisie and Mooiste Cosmetics. Ladies, today I'm showing you how to use our new powder brown sugar as a contour and a bronzer, and rose velvet as a highlighting powder. So I've already prepared my skin with my Dewy SPF 50 skincare tint foundation in rose beige. I'm using my powder puff to make sure that I have a seamless finish. Next, I'm applying porcelain concealer stick underneath my eyes, on the bridge of my nose, and with whatever's left on my powder puff, just on the center of my forehead. I'm using my powder puff to smoothen so that it looks blended in on the bridge of my nose, and repeat on the other side, and very lightly on my forehead and the inner corner of both sides of my eyes. Fold your powder puff to get into smaller areas. I've already prepared and defined my brows and put on some lashes and used liquid blush on my lips, but I am going to go over it again. Now I'm taking my brown sugar but first I'm going to apply my liquid blush in Happy Hour on my cheekbones, a little higher than I did in my previous video. So this would be right next to my eyebrow, at the highest point of the cheekbone, tip of my nose, and the corners of my mouth, to give some depth and to give you an ombre finish. Gently blot, and then I'm using my powder puff to blend my liquid blush on all three areas. Tap the nose, and then I'm going in with my brown sugar decanted into my lid, and I'm using a powder brush and a foundation brush to show you the difference with both. So with the dense foundation brush, dab it on and then blend. So go all the way up to your temples and onto your forehead on the side, jawlines, and blend so that it looks like it is naturally sculpted and bronzed. Ladies, in my previous video, I used the chocolate contour stick on these areas to contour, so it really is a matter of preference with what you prefer. So if you revert to my previous video, you will see the final effect. And if you look at today's video, you can decide which works better for you and which is easier to blend. On my right hand side, I'm using the powder brush, and as you can see, it holds a lot more product and it is a lot more pigmented. So there is definitely a lot more blending to do with the powder puff. I go in with a little bit of the foundation on there and just make sure that the edges are seamless and they flow into each other. Next, I'm using the concealer brush and dipping into the brown sugar and contouring my nose on the tip and on either side. Blend up and down, and then I'm using the brown sugar as a shading color on my lids as well. So this is a perfect shade for an everyday look or an evening look where you don't have much time to blend too many products. This is so versatile and so efficient. So I shade all the way in and I join it with the contour on my nose, and then I use the fluffy side of the concealer and the shading brush and blend the edges. Thereafter, I'm taking my powder brush and my foundation brush and blending over both sides. So that's just the difference between using the powder brush and the foundation brush. One holds a lot more pigment. Next, I'm using the fluffy side of the concealer brush and going back to my eyes and blending the edges before I apply the rose velvet on these areas. Blend the center of the nose, alternating with either side of the concealer and the shading brush. I absolutely love this brush because it is so versatile for so many areas of the face. Next, I'm using the rose velvet powder to highlight on different areas of my face, and I'm going to apply it using the diamond-shaped triangle powder puff. Sorry, not the diamond shape. I'm using the triangle powder puff and just highlighting underneath the eyes, on the sides of my nasal bridge, around my mouth, and under the contour and bronzer on my cheek. As explained in previous videos, where you apply your bronzer, you need to apply your highlighter right next to it so that you get quite a vibrant contrast and contour. Highlighting the bridge of my nose with the rose velvet. If you want a more visible highlighting, then use the flat side of the concealer brush. If you want something more blended, then use the fluffy side of the concealer brush. Next, I'm highlighting underneath my brows and the lid of my eye with the rose velvet, inner corner of my eyes, and just blending all the colors so that they flow into each other effortlessly and flawlessly, like you were born with it. Keep looking at each side in quick succession so that you are able to see if there's any asymmetry. By doing this technique, your asymmetry actually just jumps out at you and you are able to see what to correct in terms of symmetry of your contour and your highlighting. Next, I'm using my powder brush and just brushing away the highlighter that baked for about 2 to 3 minutes. Brush over the area above your lips and underneath, making sure your bronzer and your contour and your highlighted areas flow into each other. So I just brush over everywhere, taking off any excess products that's not blended. Over the nose, and then I also do it down the neckline as well. Now I'm going back and making my shading a little bit more darker with the fluffy side of the concealer and the shading brush. Cleaning up with the concealer side. And just making last minute changes and fixing and blending. Just adding a little bit of rose velvet on the inner corners so that it stands out more. Brushing away excess again. If I find it is too light or there's too much of product sitting on the skin, and that's the final brush. Next, I'm going in with my liquid blush in Happy Hour on the lips again. Blot. And I'm going to finish off with Naughty Nude lip gloss on the center of my lips, upper and the lower lip. Blot. And that's your look, ladies, using brown sugar and rose velvet powders as a means of contouring, bronzer, and highlighting. Until the next tutorial, bye!